we are seeing a lot of rain. Thankfully, it sounds like things could be wrapping up.
Yeah, Brittany, any more storms that will pop up overhead?
I don't think we're going to see additional storm activity. A very, very low isolated chance for a brief storm this afternoon, but I think that's going to be mainly north and east of us over toward Raleigh. Right now, Greensboro getting a lot of the heavy rain that we saw earlier. In fact, you can see all of these areas shaded in yellow and orange near 321 between Patterson, Lenore, over east toward Kings Creek and Yadkin Valley. These were the spots, of course, that we were watching for that flooding risk. Anywhere between 3.5 to 4.5 inches of rain in a very, very short period of time. And that was what prompted the flash flood warning in this area that is still ongoing as we are seeing a lot of areas in Caldwell County with significant flooding. Right now, Zacks Fork Road has kind of been a big one there that Caldwell County officials are asking people to avoid, but it actually expands all the way into northern Alexander County as well. Now, I haven't seen a lot of impacts here or reports from Alexander County. Those storms were a little bit weaker when they got there, but please be mindful of that, folks. If you got that wireless emergency alert for a flash flood warning to your phone, that's not because it's just your run-of-the-mill flash flood warning. That's actually what we call a considerable, which is level 2 out of 3, which is why it prompted the wireless emergency alert. Now, there's a little bit of light activity pushing through parts here of Virginia, but as we get closer and closer to sunset, a lot of the heaviest rain is just starting to wrap up quickly. You can see those strong storms, though, again, pushing through Greensboro, North Carolina, now heading over to the Raleigh-Durham area. This is what Futurecast looks like for the rest of this evening. So again, a spritz or sprinkle here and there, but nothing to the magnitude that we saw today. Frontal boundary pushes through the area, brings us some slightly drier air toward Friday, but unfortunately it's not necessarily going to be cool air, even though it's a cold front. Yes, a little bit drier, so it won't feel as sticky tomorrow with the temperature near 90 and a heat index actually near 90. But by this weekend, humidity returns, and you can see 93 and 95 respectively. Saturday and Sunday would be 2 of the hottest days of the year so far. Plus, you add on the heat index reaching the upper 90s, and it's going to be a toasty weekend. The one thing we won't have to contend with is a big opportunity for rain. So many folks excited about that part, but please make sure you're staying hydrated, taking frequent breaks in the shade, the AC, as you're going to need it. Also, remember, when you see the heat index values when it comes to a forecast or the actual, these numbers are taken in the shade. So when there is direct sunlight, let's say you're out at kids' soccer practice, things like that, you add about 10 to 15 degrees. So really quickly, a heat index of about 100 is uncomfortable, but we can very quickly go to extreme danger situations. So tomorrow we're feeling like about 90, which is the actual air temperature, upper 90s this weekend. But starting Monday, all the way through next Friday, we have a big long stretch of 100 degrees plus. Some spots peaking close to 105 to 107. Now, 105 would prompt a heat advisory. That's that official notice from the National Weather Service, but I wouldn't wait for that. I'd go ahead and prepare now. If that Monday through Friday of next week will not only be some of the highest heat index values we've seen the year so far, but the highest temperatures as well. Now, many of you might be thinking at home, yes, we see heat like this during the summertime, but having a prolonged stretch of about 5 days is a little bit more abnormal. And secondly, yes, it gets hot this time of year, but typically that first time is the one that kind of throws people off guard. You know, they're not used to it yet. We're kind of starting to creep back up, but a slow creep is different than a slow creep and then a big increase. So just be mindful of that as you're preparing and you're encouraging other people to prepare, or they're preparing. Don't make them feel silly about it. Here's your 7-day forecast. Again, you can see the feels like temperatures 102, upwards of 105 from Monday through Thursday, and I'll just go ahead and give you a quick preview of the end of the week as well. We'll probably see that all the way through Friday. Even next weekend, as we see a small chance of rain return, the temperatures still stay very, very toasty.
Thank you for the look.